Okay, so I just got done reading Shonen Jump's latest series, or the first chapter of it at the very least, because there's only one chapter out as of the recording of this video, The Last Sayuki. And I'm starting to see a pattern with newer series in Shonen Jump, and that's definitely showing a sign of the times at the very least, because we went from the generation of, the big muscular 80s with, the Jotaro Kujos of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or technically that's the 90s, but it was inspired from Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star of the 80s anime and that realm of Shonen. Then, it progressively went down in age. It fluctuated from time to time, but then Dragon Ball Z held for a while the age of kind of being, in that realm of looking like you're young, but you're still kind of older. So we had that. Then, of course, we had the era of the Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach era. And to be honest with you, even though we technically still stick with like My Hero and Black Clover are the new generation, they're kind of the new generation of the big staples now, but they're not really new generation anymore, because yes, that's also a wave. The My Hero Academia, Black Clover, I'd say Seven Deadly Sins is loosely stuck to it, but more so the newer wave I've seen at the very least from Shonen Jump at the very least is younger kids. Promised Neverland being a prime example. Those kids are a lot younger. I've seen a lot of series in Shonen Jump they attempted to put have younger children as the main protagonists, like Iron Knight. That was one that had younger children in it. And then the latest series, The Last Sayuki, also is a series with a younger cast of characters. It gives you a dark and edgy feel, and at the same time it just gives you like, whoa, this is a new vibe. With all that being said, The Last Sayuki, again, check it out, it's really awesome. I'm not paid to say that, by the way. I just thought it was a really dope series. It's showing of where we're at with what they think we want as a new generation of readers, because now, mind you, Shonen Jump is global. The whole change that they made, where they did this whole new app where everybody can get access to it, all of that stuff. So new model and stuff like that, and this is where they think it's at, where we're getting a lot of these darker series, a younger cast of characters that are kind of more intelligent than they should be, although The Promised Neverland is done very well of why they're intelligent, because they're kind of like geniuses. These younger characters that are in dark and really nasty situations, almost horror-like. So I think that's where Shonen Jump is trying to grab an audience, because they see potential in that. But again, that's very different from like the adventure element, and I think the whole boy going to man element in Shonen Jump slowly but surely is starting to not necessarily phase out, because don't get me wrong, the top contenders right now are My Hero Academia, Black Clover. They're all still of that mold and that ilk, but you could definitely see that at best in terms of sales wise, not in terms of quality. We're not talking about that at the given moment, but just sales wise right now for this particular discussion here, the older series, from my understanding, sold a lot more and have sold a lot more. Obviously they've been around a lot longer or whatever, but I think that they had bigger traction, and when they had their explosion in popularity, it was just a lot bigger than from what I've seen at the very least, sales wise, for the newer generation. But the latest generation, again, a different direction, and I don't know if that they want to target younger readers now, so that when they get older they can try different things then or whatnot, but it's really telling of how much Shonen Jump has changed. I had asked a question on Twitter regarding which generation of series were the better generation, regarding the older ones of like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, and it's crazy to say that those are the older one. And One Piece, yeah, it's still out right now, so it's kind of like in a weird limbo, but that was technically a part of that generation, you know what I mean? So it was which one was better, that generation, the older generation. Obviously there's the ones that are even older than that, the Dragon Ball, Rurouni Kenshin, Hakusho era, and then of course the JoJo and Fist of the North Star and stuff like that of like the 80s and stuff, but we're only in early 90s, of course. We're only talking about that particular branch versus the newer generation, which again at the time I was proclaiming is My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and series around that era in particular. And of course everyone said, which I don't even know if I should say of course, because again I'm kind of curious on what you guys think, but a lot of people, in fact I think over 80% of people, said that the old generation was better, was a better generation of manga. And I'm not just talking about those three series in particular, I'm more so referring to just like the whole time, that era. Like, okay, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach era, I would equate Hitman Reborn to that era, Beelzebub, Medaka Box, all of those manga that came out around that time. I'd even throw Gintama in there around, I think Gintama was like an early 2000s series, so all of that in there together is what I would say is that generation. And again, this generation, even though it's a little bit newer, and again, those series, Naruto and them, were around for a lot longer, this generation is like My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Seven Deadly Sins loosely in it. Fairy Tail, I would say, was still with the Naruto generation. That was kind of a competitor, or pretty much the other series that, hey, if you didn't want Shonen Jump, there's a couple of other action series that are popular, like Fairy Tail and Manga and stuff like that. And then again, it made me realize that, wow, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, they're at kind of what you would argue their prime right now. Maybe they could get bigger. I hope they get bigger. I always, strive for anime manga to get bigger and better and grander, and I'm enthusiastic for that aspect and whatnot. It's starting to dawn on me that, wow, they're quickly going up to where Naruto and Bleach and those series, again, One Piece, at the time or whatever, were at, in terms of they're not becoming the new guns anymore. Slowly but surely, series like, again, the last Sayuki, whether it stands the test of time or not, that's neither here nor there, but this new generation of younger kids being on these dangerous quests or in these dangerous situations is really starting to take mold, which Promised Neverland, you could kind of argue, because I think it is around as long as My Hero Academia and Black Clover, so technically it's still of that breed, because it's been around for, little less than they've been around. I think probably Black Clover's at 200 chapters around there, something like that. Promised Neverland isn't too far off from the others, but again, it showed that for once in quite some time that Shonen Jump was taking a leap of faith with putting little kids in dark situations, horror series at that, as a main thing, and it paid off, and the Promised Neverland has become like a cult following now. I think they're trying to bank on that as well, and if that starts to take effect, then we could be seeing more of that, and that is the new generation. I think the Promised Neverland is ushering in essentially this next gen of younger kids type of manga, which is interesting to note. But I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this whole thing. It's been an interesting take to see a lot of people's responses and comments to this. Which generation of manga at this point is better? Again, we're not including the old or the current right now that's just, fresh 10 chapters, 30 chapters, and we're mainly talking about the old generation of Bleach, Naruto, again, One Piece, when it was at that particular point, you could argue its heightened sales, versus My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and those series that came out around that time as well. Which one do you think is better? Which ones do you think were more impactful? And do you think that the Promised Neverland has ushered in, or even if it's not the Promised Neverland, is the future of big series headed towards younger children in dark situations, essentially young children in horror manga? Do you think that that's where Shonen Jump is headed? Again, they still keeping the core elements of Shonen Jump of friendship and all of those elements in it, but still putting a very interesting twist. And again, better generation. Which one you think had the most impact? And do you think potentially that it could possibly be nostalgia that makes people say that the older generation is better, even though the new generation might have better writing? Again, that's not my particular thoughts. To be honest with you, it's hard to say right now for me if the new generation is better than the old generation, just because the old generation, again, nostalgia is hard for me. I could take off the goggles and look at them from a critical standpoint, but there's also, again, a lot more material for them. Again, Naruto was 700 chapters plus, and then Boruto, and still going. Bleach was 600 and something chapters, so a lot of content there. My Hero Academia and Black Clover, they're about halfway there. Go 3 years from now when we could probably revisit this again and look at it from a critical standpoint, but as it stands right now, definitely an interesting discussion to say the least. Old gen versus the new gen, and again, it's wild to say Naruto and Bleach are old gen manga now. Wow, we've been doing this for a while. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit the bell to get all notifications. If you want to support my music, links in the description below. Got a new song out, You're Not Goku. Make sure to check it out on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I even got the YouTube link down in the description below. Seizure warning. There you go. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime, manga, and music for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.
Maybe lately what I've been facing got me crazy. No, I can't take it. Maybe